Hello and welcome everyone to this video on Introduction to SAP Workflow by ZaranTech. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our ZaranTech YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to never miss any update from us.
So hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss the introduction to SAP Workflow. Now see, what is an workflow? So SAP Workflow is a powerful business process automation tools that allows organization to streamline their business process, improve efficiency and enhance collaboration among employees. It enables the automation and orchestration of tasks, approvals, notifications, and information flow across various departments and systems within the SAP ecosystem. So what are the prerequisites for this SAP workflow? So the prerequisites are good understanding of OOPS concept. You should have a good understanding of OOPS concept for its implementation. So suppose we have some business requirements which needs to be automated. For example, we have sent a mail for leave approval to our reporting manager. And suppose your manager is busy doing certain tasks and you do not get much time to implement the logic, to approve your request. So in that scenario, it would be great if we automate the process that if for a certain period of time, my manager is not available to approve the request should be approved automatically. So these are some of the requirements of SAP workflow. That's why we use them. Let's see what is the basics of workflow. So in an workflow, the first step will always be start the process and continue by below steps. So what is the meaning of start the process here? See, you design the workflow. So process will be started. Then what will happen? You will generate the request. So the generated request will be sent to the your reporting manager for approving or rejection, and there he will be making the decision making process. So whatever the decision will be made by him, it will be then revert to the requester. It will be notified to the one who have generated the request. Then if the user is satisfied with it, the process will be end, or if user is not satisfied with it, then he will resubmit and it will be reversed. He will reverse the request and it will be sent directly to this one. Okay, and at last we have got the end the process. So depending upon the requirement, number of steps can be increased and decreased for our workflow. Let's discuss the properties of workflow. The first one is workflow automation of business process. So automation of business process helps organization to achieve efficiency by reducing manual intervention and ensuring that processes are executed consistently. So workflow versions. So the workflow versions are smaller to transport request versions. The idea is that workflow have different versions and one of the versions of a workflow will be active at all the time. You got my question, you got my intention here. The idea is that workflow have different versions and one of the versions of a workflow will be active all the time. Then we have the status of the workflow. So workflow can have below status. It can be in ready state, it can be in process or completed, error, cancelled, and much more. And the fourth one is we have step type. So a step type is basically different types of steps or activities that are involved in a workflow. Let me show to you so it will make you more clear. The transaction code for workflow initiator is SWD, workflow builder is SWD. Now see, we have got steps here. What are the steps we have done? Whatever the steps we will add, suppose this is a workflow which will be requesting leave request from my RM. Then what it will be doing around here, see what is actually happening. So this Workflow is generating a request to my RM, and on the basis of it, the mail will be sent to my RM, and if you will approve it, it will be returned according to the design. These are some of the steps. Let's discuss them. So it basically tells the number of steps which are basically involved in a workflow. For example, step 1, we need to start the workflow. Then we have got the step 2, taking user decisions. Then we have step 3, triggering email. And these are the basic steps involved in a workflow. Then we have tasks. So tasks are basically a special unit of work or decision that needs to be included in the business process. So whatever the task you are doing here, that will be included in the business process. Then tasks can be assigned to an individual or roles in the organization. The seventh one is testing the workflow. So it makes sure all the workflow steps are properly executed as expected, finding the error handling part as well. Then we have workflow log. So workflow log is a tool to monitor and tracking the execution of the workflow, and it provides the detailed information about each step, and its transaction code is SWI1. Then we have SAP inbox. So places to view and manage assigned a workflow task. So in SAP inbox, we can check the places. These are the places where we can check and view our workflow. Some of the important key codes that we need to understand is the transaction starts with, in case of workflow, start with SW, and then we will have some different keywords here. The most important transaction code that we need to remember is workflow. For workflow builder, we have got SWDD, and for workflow inbox, SAP inbox, in which we can see our workflow, is SBWP. Okay, so this is all about my introduction to SAP workflow. Thank you very much.